Okay, listen, boys. You have to tell me if this lighting is even bearable. Because if this is at least okay, then this is the most scuffed thing I have done in my entire life. I'm afraid to show you the setup that I have here going on, okay? But on the other hand, I typically go for scuffed, but if it works, it's good enough. So, the bot is not exactly high, but you know what else is not exactly high? Oh, the Witcher TV series numbers. Honestly, the fact that this thing has 4 seasons is kind of mind-blowing considering no one expected anything from this. Then people liked it because of Henry Cavill, but the Witcher's people themselves didn't like Henry Cavill, so they did everything pretty much to just get rid of him and, remake their view on life in the Witcher format, which is completely lame. In any case, most people know that The Witcher currently is complete trash. There's just nothing that can be done about that. And, well, is Season 5 happening? I hope.
He knew that it was over for this series. Sure, while he was still a part of it, it had major issues, but at the same time, he really brought a lot of life to the project. And now that season 4 is out, everybody hates it like we expected, and the viewership for this series has tanked compared to the other seasons. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we all thought it was going to be pretty bad for The Witcher Season 4 because Henry Cavill was no longer affiliated with it. He did bring a lot of normies to this series, and to top that off, I think his
we should have gate kept hot, but I'm not gonna lie, boys. Every single time gamers don't gatekeep their franchises, their things that they like, it turns bad. Normies ruin everything, okay? Because of normies, Fallout's lore is forever now damaged because of the TV series. The Brotherhood is a joke. They were already kind of stupid at a joke, but now they're like the mega official joke because they're completely defective in every aspect possible. Every ghouls completely broken lore. Everything. New Vegas written off the map. Why the war started? Capitalism bad. Okay? You see, this is what happens when you don't gatekeep your hobbies. Normies are a plague upon society.
placement was pretty bad. Liam Hemsworth is not a good actor, in my opinion, and of course, he just looks like a guy that's cosplaying Geralt, whereas Henry Cavill really filled out the armor and the suits, and he just brought a lot of charismatic energy.
I have seen this dude before. What did he do? Was he in DC or Marvel or something?
To Geralt, even if this series had a lot of issues leading up to this point, it still was enjoyable. It still felt like it might not be the best piece of entertainment, but as the seasons went on, it got worse and worse because they stopped listening to him as much. We have heard from
Bro.
several of the actors and actresses on this project that he really cared about the source material. He was like a Witcher Bible. On set, he would carry around the books, bringing up dialogue that should be said and different elements
Damn.
of the books and even the games that should be brought into the TV show. And as time went on, they got more and more.
By the way, imagine how absolutely annoying that was for the Evoke slop losers making that show. All they want to do is just take something that already exists and completely butcher it with their useless, dumb ideologies, takes on life, and ideals and whatnot. And they can't because there's this dude actually saying, no, your ideas are stupid, we're doing this instead. Oh my lord. They were probably so pissed.
Annoyed with him. I mean, Lauren Hisrich has even admitted that before, and now we finally have some numbers, and boy, are they looking bad. So, What's on Netflix posted The Witcher Season 4 debuts #2 on the Netflix charts, which you might say to yourself, sounds pretty good, but during a time when Netflix
Do they actually give these numbers? Does Netflix actually just like give away their numbers? Usually they never do views. Usually all of these platforms do micro nanosecond squared watched. And you have no idea what that actually means. I mean, usually it means bad things because they literally try to spin things like the Acolyte as successful because 5 billion seconds of it was watched, which is probably, well, me and a couple of other people just trying to rip on it.
Netflix isn't launching a lot. And of course, you had these other seasons with these massive numbers. Well, the good narrative falls apart fast because it picked up 7.4 million views. That is down from a whopping 18.5 million for season 2 and
Ouch.
15.2 million for season 3. So, we clearly are seeing a massive drop off after Cavill
Yeah,
has
that's
left.
60 plus
And I think
percent.
that
That's
this is so
insane.
funny because they really thought that, oh, sure, we're going to lose some viewers, but some people will still stay around. And this is just abysmal compared to what they previously had.
Wait, no, that's actually 70 plus percent. Holy. That is not something you want to see,
I
okay?
mean, 7.4 down from 18.5, and even 15.2 is absolutely massive. And even the first episode of season 4
75% drop, actually. Wow.
was watched by 35% less households than season 3, 577K versus 885K, currently ranked as the series' lowest rated season yet on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's not stopping some fans who are still curious as to where this next chapter leads, Samba TV says, which is just so hilarious because
I mean, there's a lot of people who want to see where it leads. Boys, as you may or may not know, I have watched all of Velma. Yes. And, well, it was an experience. It definitely was an experience. I watched also The Acolyte. Didn't watch anything else, though. But man,
they have
the Penguin was awesome, obviously. That was great.
had filmed season 4 and season 5 at the same time, unless they're going to have to do a couple of reshoots. But they already know how this series is going to end. And I think that if that wasn't the case, even though they had plans for 5 seasons, they would have had to stop it after season 4. And I do think that because it's filmed, Netflix is just going to barrel forward with it and probably still release it. But these numbers are absolutely terrible for them. And of course, people are saying, yeah, we all knew that this was going to happen. If that's number 2 in the charts with less than half the viewership, Netflix must be tanking right now. Yeah, Netflix's prices have gone up, so a lot of people have unsubscribed. You have
Yeah, that's why Netflix did actually do a record-breaking profitability thing not too long ago, I think. But again, it's just because they're pushing the price up. Technically, on that front, also Xbox is doing great because I mean they're raising the price, but without raising the price, they're effed. And the reality is, okay, you raise the price once, you lose like 30% of your audience, maybe 20, depends on the company and whatnot, depends on the service. But you do that again, you're losing probably 40% of your people. And then if you do it the third time, oh my god, you're probably gonna lose, well, 50% of the total people before you started doing this thing. And that's when profitability margins completely tank. So they can't do this. Everyone knows that streaming seemed smart and good at the time because you had Netflix, and what else did you have? Nothing. You had nothing. There was no Hulu, there was no Peacock, there was no Your Mom on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Fridays in different lingeries. It didn't happen. But now your mom's all over the place. Like she's around the block, bro. Okay, and there's competition. There's competition for everything. So now you need to have not only a Netflix subscription, you need to have like 5 different subscriptions because everything's not just on Netflix. So Netflix and these streaming services are becoming just a verse and verse proposition for the average person. And well, the moment there's gonna be a limit. There is a limit where pretty much literally everyone, unless they're dead and can't unsubscribe, I'm gonna unsubscribe.
A lack of new good content, and they're not even bringing a lot of like classics out of the vault. They're not really even paying for licenses to a lot of classic films that people love, so it's just looking like a disaster for them.
I think they're afraid. I think they're afraid, considering Star Wars doesn't even get views. Lord of the Rings doesn't get views, and I know what you're thinking. Lord of the Rings gets views. In their opinion, Lord of the Rings is represented by Rings of Power. Okay, that's the big thing. And well, if Star Wars and Lord of the Rings can't get views, why would they ever pay for a license for anything? It just doesn't make sense in their opinions.
And debuts with the lowest IMDb score to date. Number 2, that's fitting. It's all shit. Wow, I'm shocked. Bring
Ooh.
back Henry. This series should have already been canceled. It was an adaptation that didn't work. It started off well, but it began to lose its way in the second season. The team behind it is completely lost. And this is what happens when you hire people who, first of all, are not fans of the product, but second of all, they're not even
They probably hate the product, okay? There's a difference.
showing respect to the original source material. They're not actually trying to sit here and say, even if I'm not a fan, I want to do the best job I can for the people who love it. I want this to end up being remembered.
By the way, if you love this, then you definitely should like the video and hype it up if you're on a mobile device. It takes less than a second, and it actually does do an impact. It really helps my channel, so thank you for everyone who does. And if you think this stuff is important, then definitely like the video right now and hype it up. Thank you for everyone who does it, sincerely. It does help a lot, thank you.
Positively. It's just like they want to get it done with, and they don't care how low they set the bar. And if we head on over to Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, and IMDb, it is looking terrible. The all critic score is a 58%. Top critic is a 33.
Dude, even the critics don't like this. Jesus. The critics usually love slop.
And the all audience is at a 19% with over 1,000 ratings, sitting at a 1.6 out of 5 stars. And people are, of course, not holding back when it comes to voicing their thoughts and opinions on this. And I am very sad. I love the books, the video games are amazing, and I didn't go into this series expecting it to be a complete one-for-one adaptation. I figured they would make some decisions that people weren't going to agree with, but the first season started out strong, even though it strayed away from the source material. Season 2.
Have any of you seen the witch fight? Some people saying the witch fight between... I don't even know who's actually fighting there. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not Siri. Who the fuck is even fighting there? I don't know. Jennifer? Whatever. The witch fight? I'm not sure which characters are supposed to be fighting there. It's hilarious. It's like, I am woman, watch me scream. It is so fucking unbelievably ass. And some people are there like, absolute cinema. Dude, listen. There's a reason Netflix has existed as long as it has. And that's because some people just not willing to eat anything, okay? They're willing to consume whatever you put in front of them. It is what it is.
Really, really dipped in quality, but it was still partially entertaining. Season 3 was awful. Season 4 was god-awful, and I bet Season 5 is going to be one of the worst seasons of television we're ever going to have to watch, period. It's just so sad that they have so much rich source material to work with, so many amazing characters and storylines, and this is the best they can come up with. People are saying,
I mean, they don't want to go and do those things. Everyone in Hollywood is a self-centered loser. They think they know everything better. They think they understand the world better. And they think they understand what's good better. And, well, they're obviously not gonna just do something that already has critical acclaim. Now, they're fully willing to steal its name and try to get an audience the cheap way by, just skinwalking something. That they're completely fine with, ironically enough. But they believe that the source material is bad. That is real bad, that no one actually cares about it, and they think that they themselves are obviously amazing. They know. They know what people want. They know how to write good stories. They know how to do everything. And so they obviously are gonna just do something completely new, but just masquerade as The Witcher and call it a day. That's how these things work. This is what they do always in Hollywood. They don't stop. They did this with Star Wars. They did this with Lord of the Rings. Do you honestly think that The Witcher is somehow going to be different at the end of the day? No, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Saying things like unbelievably horrible acting and even worse storytelling. The makers should be ashamed. Nothing makes sense. The makeup is continually getting worse. Seriously, can't believe they spent the money and ruined the momentum that was built. There are, of course, some people reverse review bombing it, saying, I'm a fan of the lore and the books and the games, and this is amazing. It might be better than what Henry Cavill did. Go and watch. The lie detector has determined that that's a lie.
True, based, and real. What the hell are you talking about, Vera?
This should be the easiest money grab in the world. You already had a story, you already had a fan base. All you need to do is essentially copy and paste. This is like the smart kid giving you all the answers beforehand and you still manage to get an F. Yeah, it's like with the Wheel of Time. I genuinely felt like the Wheel of
Oh
Time.
god, I forgot about that one. Dude, the Wheel of Time is so bad. I got in one episode and 15 minutes, I think. I tried to watch that show, okay? I watched the first episode with absolute pain. And then I started watching the second one, and like 15 minutes in, I paused, then I did something else, and I completely forgot I wanted to watch it. I completely forgot I was supposed to watch it. Holy shit. The only thing that, by the way, you want to know a secret? This is a hot one, okay? But the foundation. The foundation starts off as hyper omega woke slop. You got your girl bosses, you got your diverse girl bosses, you have two of them in fact. And then the foundation actually kind of becomes better. I have no idea if they're accurate to the book, but it does become okayish. It does become okayish. They literally even kill off one of the diverse female leaders. Oh boy, it actually gets better. Now, granted, there's like season. Is it season 3? Is it season 2? I don't know. No, I still haven't watched that one. I need to watch it. I'm gonna watch it, but I liked how it ended. I think it's season 3. The first one is painful because you literally have your typical Riri Williams type of shit, and that's really bad, obviously. And you know, your typical girl boss, weak men, blah 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 blah. Nothing makes sense. It's stupid. It does, you know. But then it does actually turn good. I'm not gonna spoil how it turns actually good and better, but it does. It actually does. It's like one of those rare situations where some things works out. But that's like a 1 in a million, I think, where it actually does get better, which is wild to think about. But in any case, that was Mommy Very Dark. 10 out of 10. Bye.